Hello and welcome to the Ask Aviator podcast, episode number 50. Holy crap, guys, 50 of these things. You guys are hiding out? You're hiding out?
Look at this. You gotta get like synchro.
Swinging back and forth. Welcome, everybody, to the episode. Super excited to be here. We're back in the war room, and we've got a couple of really wonderful people with us tonight. And actually, these guys are both equally to blame for that monstrosity of an Inspire 2 back there. That's just really sad. It got driven over, guys. You're going to see a video. I
might have heard it.
Oh, it's just absolutely crazy. So wanted to say thank you guys all for being here. First and foremost, I want to welcome everyone to the chat. Cash App, good to see you. My friend Miles, Crazy Uncle Bob, thanks for the $5. DB Bush, Bob Garber, Clan PR, Ripman Ride, and Charlie Walsh. Yes, we have Judson and we have Reese. You guys haven't seen this guy much yet, but you will be soon, seeing much more of him. And Judson here is in town for some reasons we'll get into. But yeah, tonight we're doing the show early because it's a really nice night to fly, hopefully. So I think my wife's bringing the kids out, and we're going to do some flying stuff.
We're going to go fly.
Yeah. I'm excited. So with that said, just want to say thank you guys for coming on.
Yeah, no problem.
Don't lean back. Lean closer to the microphone. Jeez.
To the frame. You're out of frame.
Yeah, we got to reposition the camera. Sorry. and I'm the camera guy. So nice to meet everyone here at Aviator PPG. I'm Reese Dockhand, and it's going to be producing some content. I guess I should be talking into the mic as well.
You're good.
First things first, we should probably reposition this camera. So I do apologize for not.
You can move it if you want to move it.
I will. So hi everyone, and bye.
And this is Judson.
I'm Judson. I'm from New Jersey, and I fly paramotors, and I'm down here to teach people to fly paramotors and learn how to teach people to fly paramotors, but we'll get into it, I guess.
Judson is secretly Tucker Gott's son, which makes you my grandson.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It says I can't hear you. Let me turn you guys up.
Oh,
all right.
no.
I can turn him up. All right. I turned him up. Hopefully that works.
So the newest people in Aviator family, we got Judson interning and myself learning to do a little bit of the content creating, and we're already making a name for ourselves.
Let's congratulate Reese because he just learned how to fly.
Heck yes, he did.
My wife and I just got done at the X-35 Marion County Airport, and it's beautiful up there. They have the springs, the Florida Springs.
Oh, it's so good.
I actually got to show you for the first time how wonderful that area is.
The springs are gorgeous. It's like, I don't know, especially this time of year, having that 50-degree water is just like,
Yeah. It feels
so
like a
much
shower.
it feels like a really cold shower.
It was 72 where we were.
Oh, man. All right. So, hey, Miles, thanks for the 10, buddy. Good luck on your driving test tomorrow, my friend. Howdy, Ernie, JP Tulo. Lots of good folks in the chat tonight. Brian Chastine's in here. Brian was in Reese's class with Reese and Leah.
Oh, what's up, Brian?
Bush's Beans
hey,
boy.
Brian. What's good?
Yeah, man. So,
AKA golf ball.
Is that his call sign?
Yeah, he found the turtle holes all the time. If you don't know, Denellen's full of these gopher turtles, which AKA my call sign was gopher because I blipped the throttle and went head first into the dirt.
Oh, I think I saw that.
Yeah, I made 2 steps and hit the throttle because it was the first time I had that much stuff in my left hand and just went face first.
Oh my gosh.
Unguided head.
But you were fine?
Fine. Yeah.
Okay, he was sticking out feet first.
Oh my Lord.
But on his first flight, Brian, aka Golf Ball, was on final and just got target fixation and put the brakes on right before a golfer turtle hole.
Oh my goodness gracious! I freaking love it. I don't love that happened, but I love that you guys were able to find joy and hilarity out of it, because if we don't find the fun in the crap that happens, because I mean, dude, learning to fly paramotors is just hard.
It's really hard.
It's really, really hard. So, yeah. So, let me further explain. So, Reese is joining the team to help us with some filmmaking. He's got a film about the 2 classes, our last 2 classes here and at X35, and it is freaking amazing. It's gonna be one of our longest films we've released, I think. Dude, it's so good. I'm really excited. And Judson is interning to be a paramotor instructor here at Aviator.
Yes.
So far, so good?
Yeah, it's pretty decent. I'm working with students. We're flying around. We're launching, landing. learning how to kite, teaching other people to kite. It's fun. It's really rewarding.
It is, especially when they
super
get it.
rewarding.
Like this morning
Yeah.
with Roger just getting off the ground first try. Like
Yeah, we're like, yes, buddy. And
best
then
feeling.
we have other people, we're like, I'm not telling him yet, but we're like 50 feet, 30 feet, 25. We'll bring him down to a foot drag one of these days, but he's doing really good.
That's awesome, and that's
Shout out to you, Steve.
yeah. Hi, Steven.
Steve.
That is really like the part of this that people don't get to see until they come here is the kind of the familial bond that you build with each group of students, you know, and the instructors have their own little like, and you saw it because you've been at both locations, so you can see
Yeah,
like
for sure.
how different those relationships are, and it's just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that I was doing the filming for here at Lake Wales, and you were calling me on FaceTime. You're like, hey, do you want to fly? And I know you fly a lot of things, and I have my private pilot's license and seaplane rating. So I was like, yeah, let's go flying. And you're like, all right, you're in the class. And I'm like, whoa. Oh, you meant that kind of flying, like paramotor. And I was not prepared. I didn't realize how intense this training was. And I felt more, you know, I'm always active and just go. So physically, I felt prepared, but I didn't realize mentally, you know, how you need to slow down. And it was very therapeutic. You know, the instructors there, they do such a great job at just calming your soul and just preparing you for this superhuman feat that I thought was just a bunch of hubbub, right? You know, I fly, you figure out, you get thrust and power, you create lift, and you're off the ground. But no, this, you really have to be humble and find like a chi almost experience.
You described it perfectly. You're like, it's a balance between yoga, AA, and flight.
Definitely the AA. I mean, you're going to be sobered in the fact that it is an incredible 2-week journey, and it's so humbling. I really did find it to be, I don't do yoga, and I thought it was the most therapeutic. Like, you wake up with the sun, you take that breath, you're doing a dance with the wind. It was awesome.
That's so cool. So I want to give a quick background. Reese and I met at Flight Fest South here, where you were doing all the video work for MultiGP.
Correct.
And then in some weird turn of events, you were on vacation in Costa Rica, and you ran into Gigi, who runs Paracosta down there, one of our Alliance schools. And so I guess your buddy's girlfriend went on a tandem.
Yep.
And so I see this video pop up. It's like paramotoring in Costa Rica. And I'm like, sick. I know everybody who paramotors in Costa Rica. And I'm like, that's Gigi. Oh, I know Reese. I borrowed footage from him to use in my Flight Fest video because it was some skydiving footage because you're a skydiver also.
Yes.
And so we've kind of stayed in touch. And then as we've been looking for a new filmmaker, I was like, you want a job?
I said, when do I start?
So we kind of had a slow start, but I'm really excited that you're here. And obviously you lived the hashtag fly all the things, you know, to heart big time.
I thought I created that hashtag for sure. Was that Flight Fest South hashtag?
No, that's something I've had for like 5 years.
Okay, maybe
Yeah.
I saw it somewhere then.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's definitely fly all the things. If there's a way to fly it, let's get after it. You
Absolutely.
know? RC, drones.
He landed a drone on my wing, and it sat there.
Yeah, actually, I just watched that video last night.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's a first.
Yeah.
I thought it was his 5-inch, and I was like, oh, I hope he didn't chop up the wing.
No, this
Yeah.
drone, to be specific, is a whoop, so it has propeller guards, and I was coming for a flyby on Judson's wing, and if you haven't seen this guy fly, he's amazing. But it was right
He's a
at dusk,
maniac.
you know, and we could barely see anything, and I came a little too close and just clipped the wing, and the propellers are in this protected ring, so none of the moving parts hit the wing, but I disarmed it and went for a 30-second ride on his wing upside down until he kicked me off. He didn't know.
I can't believe it just sat there, though. That's the funny thing.
It really is. It's like one of those crazy, weird.
Yeah.
All right, so come up close to the mic. I want to hear your backstory some, because you're in the background of about.
Every single person in Paramotor who makes videos, I'm in the background of them.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way. But you want the whole thing.
Yeah,
from
tell the whole
beginning.
story. I mean, it's not a super long story,
No,
and
it's not super
it's really
long.
kind of cool, actually.
It's really simple. Okay, so to 2017, August, I'm at the beach. Paramotor flying to McDonald's. I'm like, I might watch this. I watch it, almost click out, and then I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. And then I'm watching this, and I'm like, a lot of this looks really familiar to me, but I'm sure other places in the country look very familiar and are the same. And then Mr. Tucker pulls into the park on his Paramotor, which is 2 miles from my house. Don't stalk me, but 2 miles from my house. And I played baseball there for like 3 years. And I'm like, oh my gosh, mind blown, viral video, like in my backyard. So then I was like, okay, I need a Paramotor. And then I kind of just didn't really do anything with it until that fall. And then I ran into Tucker in a coffee shop locally. And I was like, hey, man. And he's like, hey, man.
Hey, you Tucker got?
No, we're both really awkward and shy people. So, I don't know. I just remember the interaction just being like, hey, are you Tucker? He's like, yeah. And I'm just like, hey, I watch your videos. And like everyone says the same thing. But I was like,
everyone does.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm kind of a photographer, so I was like, hey, so I'll take some pictures for you if you want to do that, because he was like just starting the Risky Biscuits brand at the time. And so he was like, yeah, sure. And we swapped numbers, and I was like, oh my god, I got a celebrity's number. But yeah, then I went out and took pictures a couple times, and then Mr. Jeff, who you might recognize from some of the videos, who has all the blue wings, he was like, hey man. A lot of people said hey man in the story.
There were a few hey mans.
Yeah.
I was getting
Yeah. He goes, hey man, you seem to like this, do you want to learn how to fly it? I'm like, sure. And I didn't know what that meant, but that meant go to the park in the freezing cold and kite like a 16-meter speed wing for like days and days and days in the freezing cold, and then like giving me the 16-meter speed wing and a harness to like go to the park on my own on my mini bike, because I didn't have a driver's license, to go kite.
Yeah, so by the way, he's 18 now.
Yeah,
he was 16 then.
Yeah. Yeah. And then in June, so that was in February of 2018, and then in June of 2018, June 21st, so I just celebrated 2 years of flying, Tucker was kind of like, hey man, you're kind of ready to fly. And he strapped the Air Conception 130, which is on the shelf up there, to my back, and put a Mojo Extra Small behind me, and I took off. And then I flew and bummed people's gear for a while.
You were like the ultimate parabum.
I got 49 flights on other people's gear.
It was amazing.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was absolutely amazing. And I need to return that favor to people somehow, because like through like everyone's generosity is how I got here. But yeah, so I got 49 flights and like some hours on other people's gear in the freezing cold. I'll also say that between my first and second flight was 2 months.
Oh, wow.
And the second flight I did was like an hour and a half.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
a big shift.
Yeah, I was just like, all right, you're good, let's go. And then I bought my first Paramotor, which was a mini plane top 80 and a Spider 20 meter in March 2019, and then flew it for a long time. And then I bought a Doberman 2 18 meter, and then I got a Scout, and then I got a free ride, and now we're Scout free riding it at this time currently.
At this time currently.
Yes.
And you've been testing everything else out that we have here, I think.
Yeah, I flew the Viper and I liked it, but it is really bad in turbulence. It's really bad.
It's a sporty wing in turbulence.
Yeah, it's sporting.
Uh-huh.
That's a term.
That's a term. That's one thing you could call it.
Yeah, I flew the Fly Products Eclipse with an Atom and really loved it, especially in like high wind with a Mojo, because it weighs nothing on your back. So
Yeah.
you just like lean all the way back and just kind of like jump, like you tell the
Hover.
students.
Yeah.
Yeah, you tell the students not to jump, and then you just like squat down at full power and like
You
throw
do it.
yourself in the air.
You also weigh like 120 pounds.
Yeah,
So.
so I can outclimb AJ on a Mojo Extra Large with his Moster, on a Mojo Extra Small, and an Atom. So
That's hilarious.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, now I'm down in Florida because paramotors are the coolest thing ever, and I want to teach people how to fly them because it's rewarding, and I think that that's something I need to do because other people were generous enough to teach me how to do that.
Well, and I think that it's really cool that you're here with us because, like, our 5th rule, which we only have 5 rules, is to give back.
Yeah.
You know, I think that once you experience this and you experience how it shifts your life, if you don't give back, the circle isn't completed. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, for sure.
it really is a big part. Whether you're making videos like Tucker or you're starting Resurgence like Todd or you're teaching here, like it's a
Yeah, or
it's a
even
cool
just
thing.
like offering people advice on the side.
Yeah,
But-
yeah, absolutely. Well, we're excited to have you. It's been quite a joy. You
Yeah.
you haven't flown yet with the team. There's a weird background noise. I'm gonna make noise. Hang on, guys. Let's see. I'm gonna make noise. I don't know why. I don't know why it's got a weird noise, but sorry for the background noise, everybody. I have seen your comments. Apologies.
Who's in here?
Who's in here? We got lots of people. We got Kristen Solano. Lucian Sims says, "Wow, Judson got cute."
Yeah. Oh, I was Lucian's wing bitch for like 6 months. Just saying.
Lovely Lucy. I miss him.
Yeah.
I miss him. Brian Waller's in here. Cyan PR says, next time I'm in America, I might only have a few months' notice for a family trip. Is there any way to get lessons with such short notice? Probably not, but might as well ask about it. Actually, yes. So right now we have class spaces available as soon as August 1st in Virginia. We have 2 seats left there. I think 1 seat left there. And then we have I think we filled up Pennsylvania. We have some seats available in our July 25th recurrency course. So if you're a prior Aviator student and you are not current, we've got some seats available in that class. So we definitely would love to have you. Jeff Torba's in the chat. What up, Jeff?
Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Dad.
No, seriously. Hi, Dad.
So yeah, we would love to have you out here, and we actually have a lot of seats available in September, October, etc. And we have, I believe, 3 seats remaining or 4 seats remaining in our all women's class, October 3rd. So the waiting lists of yesteryear, when we used to have the 3-year wait list, they're over. We opened a second school, and we increased our output from 66 students a year to 268. So we can teach a lot more people in the same safe, in fact, better way than it was. So, yeah, that hopefully answers the question. JP Tulin, what do you mean current? I don't remember what I said current. Sorry,
Oh,
JP.
recurrency class.
Oh, recurrency class. Yeah. So like if you came and learned to fly, and like we had a guy who came and learned to fly, and then he went on a skiing trip, and I think he broke his leg or something. Never ended up flying again for like 6 months, and just wants to get caught up. So it's just a 3-day class to kind of get those guys just some additional confidence, you know. So guys and gals. All right. So you have kind of a cool story.
Yes.
About learning to fly, but you did something weird. You're one of the very few unionized 18-year-olds I know.
Okay.
What did you do for a living before you decided to give it all up and do something better?
Okay, so I will preface this with I have not given it completely all up. I'm still in the union, but at the ripe old age of 17.
Hang on one second. Whenever you're kicking this,
Oh, I'm so sorry, everyone. There's a cable up by my foot.
there we go.
Yeah, so when a week after my 17th birthday, I went into New York City with a family friend who is in the Elevator Constructors Union, IUEC Local 1, New York, and I checked that out and was like, hey, this is kind of cool.
Hang on, talking to this one, I'm gonna turn yours down.
Talking to that one.
Just yell.
I'm yelling. So I went into New York City to see what the Elevator Constructors Union was all about, and I kind of sat around a little bit, and I put a bunch of steps into an escalator, and I thought, hey, this is pretty cool. So, am I back on this one?
You're back on that one, but I think it's a bad cable. That's
no.
what the reports I'm getting is.
Let me know if this is good. I'm
Yeah.
in story and there's in continuity.
Sorry, yeah. So you're going into the city.
Yes, so I did this, and then I, got the contacts, and then they called me back in October and said, hey, do you want to start working with us? And I was like, oh, of course, this would be fantastic. And it was. You make a lot of money. You're in a union. You have benefits. But New York City is soul-sucking. Waking up at 4 in the morning and driving to New York City from the other side of New Jersey is soul-sucking. And 12-hour days. I would leave my house at 4:30 in the morning and get home around 4:30.
Oof.
With driving, just left me completely like deprived and like feeling empty. And even at 18 years old, I knew that this wasn't something I wanted to do. I have a fair bit of pushback from older people who are probably smarter than me, but paramotors are really my passion. Anyone who knows me knows that like this is what I do. This is like my thing. So to be out here just immersed in it and teaching people how to do it and changing their lives and seeing what it's doing to them is just like super rewarding.
All right, we're going to take a quick moment here, and I'm going to try to fix this. 1 second.
Am I gonna-
All right, we're back. We'll see if this works better now.
Hi, Jillian.
I don't have the bad noise anymore, so that's good. Have a good day, PPG Bob Father. Miles, no worries, buddy. I totally understand. But yeah, 009 says, when I get down there after the pandemic, I got dibs on Judson as my trainer. We're from the same neighborhood.
Shit. Okay.
Awesome.
For
awesome.
sure. So yeah, I got laid off somewhat voluntarily because of COVID in March. Right before it got super bad, the week before it got super bad in New York, my boss called me and was like, hey man,
You want some time off?
you want to take this next week off? And I was like, yeah, sure. And I had a week off after that, which was supposed to be for Sun and Fun with Paradigm, which I was really excited about, but that got canceled. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll get 2 weeks off in a row. And then I called back midway through the second week, and I'm like, so you got a spot for me still? And he's like, you should probably file for unemployment.
Oh.
No, the unemployment deal is sustainable. Sustainable. So yeah, I just kind of had all this free time, and I was sitting around doing nothing. And then the pandemic somewhat slowed down, and kind of got in a rift with my dad about like my job. I said, I don't like this. And he said, what don't you like about it? You're at home getting paid doing nothing. And I was like, I don't like my job. And he was like, well, either figure out how to do something else or you're going back. So I made a few phone calls and text messages, and the next day I was like, hey Dad, I'm going to Florida next week. And he's like, okay. And that's how I got here.
I think all of our instructors kind of have similar stories. They're either retired or they quit doing something that wasn't fulfilling their heart and chose to do something that does.
Yeah, and it's encouraging to hear that here and at other schools, and even like completely different like aspects of people in PPG. Everyone, I think a lot of people have a story about how they were doing something that was like the correct path and just didn't find it rewarding at all, and then just kind of went, you know what, I'm gonna do this now.
Right. Hey, it's all part of it, right?
Yeah, and now I don't wake up every morning and be like, this sucks, and I don't hear songs about people living their dreams and being like, fuck, that's not me. Excuse my language.
Jeez.
No, like seriously, I'd hear songs that were like, oh, something about not having a regular job, and I was like, oh, I'll never be like that. And now I'm down here and I'm like, haha, I'm gonna get paid to fly paramotors.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you are. I mean, that's the beauty is as we, start striking out on a passion, on a quest of doing something, especially when it's not about just you, it's about doing something bigger for the world.
Yeah.
The reward is so much more than financial. It's a experiential thing, and it's like, dude, I couldn't stop doing this if I tried. I have to.
Absolutely. And the crazy thing is, for me, which is kind of like proving how much this means to me and how important it is, I've been in Florida for over 2 weeks now. I've flown my paramotor or a variation of a fan on my back, because I was triking this morning.
Yes.
I'm learning how to fly a trike. It's super fun. but every single day I've been down here, I've flown at least once, and it doesn't get old. Every single time you blast off, and you're like, "This is awesome."
Yeah.
So
it only
I
gets
don't know.
better every
Just wanna share it with
time.
people.
Like truly, every time it just gets better and better
Yeah.
and better.
And sharing it with people and like seeing them progress and people coming down, cops coming down with their tears in their eyes after their first flight. I'm like, yes, this is awesome.
Yes, it's amazing. It
Yeah.
really is. So let's see. We are going to bring in some questions. What questions? Look at that. Look at that.
Oh,
Boom,
can I answer
transition.
some? Reese can answer some if he wants.
Yeah, I want Reese. I want you two to answer questions.
I'll
So
answer questions.
anybody who has questions, pop them in the chat. We're happy to answer what we can for you. It's not going to be a super long show tonight, most likely, simply because we want to go flying.
Yeah. I have an
So-
irresponsible amount of knowledge about paramotors for an 18-year-old. So ask away.
I can see that being an accurate statement. I can definitely see that being an accurate statement. Yeah, so if anybody has questions, pop them in. Jeff Peff asked what you vaping. Vaping Nick Salts. Good stuff.
The good stuff.
Naked Juice 100s. But Miles, yeah, I saw that, man. No worries, brother. Craig Taylor, good to see you in here.
Turn the screen.
Yeah, you can turn. There's no questions yet.
Advanced Acro Class by Blazing Sky.
Advanced Acro Class. Not something that we're offering right now. Check out Skylab.
Yeah. I want to do an SIV with them.
They do SIV and acro stuff. We do offer a PPG 3 class, which does incorporate some more advanced maneuvers. All right. What was Judson's biggest oh crap moment?
Okay, there's two. So the first one, wait,
You had two this week.
did I?
Well, driving on Highway 27, driving over a $12,000 drone. I mean, those are at least the two I know of from this week.
Those were oh craps, but I mean, I think they were talking about in the air.
Yes, I'm just
Yes,
giving
in
you
the
crap.
air. I did get a speeding ticket. Somebody help me. DM me.
Brian, we will share the story of the Inspire. We have a video.
Yeah,
You'll see it. You know it.
Yeah. Okay, my two freakiest moments flying, well, 2.5. I was on a Nivea Cubic, and we had shortened the brake lines about 2 inches. And when I pushed speed bar, the back of the wing came up and started to engage main brake, and it just blew up on me like once. And I was like, okay, that was freaky. So then Tucker and I are like, we should go up and do this again, except film it. So then I did it again and like almost riser twisted and through my reserve. Yeah. And then the second time was I came in for like not a tip drag, but like the approach you'd do for a tip drag on a Mojo, but like didn't have nearly enough energy and just spun the inside and kind of like butt landed because I was super low. But it was freaky, and I was like, all right, well, we're not going to do slalom things if we're not on slalom wings.
Yep. It's really, really hard to do on a A or B wing.
Yeah,
It
you're
really
like,
is.
feel like you're spinning, and I did spin it, but luckily I was, if we talk about this window of death, if I had done that at 50 feet, that would have been really bad. But I did it at 5, so I just kind of was like, boom.
Ugh.
Yeah, didn't even break the prop.
Oh my gosh. So Adrian says, after all the advice you give Eric of you must train at school, how do you react to someone like Judson who is effectively self-taught or at least not a school? Can you
I was
pick up-
not self-taught,
Yeah.
first of all.
So it's a tough balance. For my pickup is generally that they have bad habits. You see them ground starting, you see them launching in poor conditions, you see them doing things wrong. And it's not that you can't learn this stuff on your own. I'm effectively self-taught. You know, I got 2 flights at my school, and then I was told, have a great life, you'll figure it out. It's a lot of work to figure it out. I crashed my 3rd flight, you know, like I went into blackberry bushes because I just didn't have the experience. Even though I went to a school, I didn't have the experience that was necessary. So by going to a school, A, you greatly increase your chances of safety, and B, you massively decrease the time it takes. And that's the big thing to me. So the next question was for you. How do you feel now that you've seen how a school works? Do you wish you'd gone to a school instead of training one-on-one?
Okay. I don't wish I went to a school because how I got into paramotors really changed my life because I met some of my closest friends and like I went from like irresponsible teenager to I think somewhat of a more mature person And that process, that long drawn out thing was super cool to me.
Right. And it was basically a year-long process.
Yes. You will not almost ever get into a situation where you have two extremely talented pilots mentoring you through your self-training process. Go to a school and you will learn everything you need to know and realize how much you don't know
Right.
in 2 weeks, rather than spend a year and I don't know.
How many broken props?
I've broken 3 props, and all of them were like in the past year, because my strobe went through one, and then I blew a launch and blew up Tucker's 3-blade. I'm sorry.
Tucker.
But yeah, so to shortly answer your question, no, I don't regret not going to a school, but I would
You had
not.
a unique experience.
Yeah, I was the odd one out.
Yeah.
Okay. More questions.
Brian Chastain came in said, after attending the training, I can't see why anyone would even consider self-training. It's going to cost more in the long run and could cost someone their life or major injury.
Absolutely.
Yep. That's where I stand on it. It's like, what is your life worth? It really is a big question. Jeff Torba says, thanks, Judson.
Yeah, no problem, Jeff. You're the man.
I'm pretty sure that Judson is your biggest fan, Jeff, in the whole wide world.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Jeff changed my life.
All right. Any other good questions for us, guys? I'm hearing paramotors outside, and it's making me start to get a little twitchy.
Oh,
I want
are
to go
we
fly.
hearing paramotors?
I heard one taxi by, yeah.
Shoot, I thought that was a plane.
I don't know. Charlie Walsh wants to know if you're doing any film photography for Aviator. I hope so.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah. I need my stuff down in Florida. All my cameras are at home, but if we wanted to spend a lot of money really fast, we can do some air-to-air medium format photos.
That would be so sick.
It would look sick, but
It would.
it's like $1 a shot.
All right. Is motion sickness ever an issue?
For me?
Yeah.
No. I don't know. I've been in planes in turbulence now. I've done SATs, dynamic SATs, flown in really nasty air, and I don't really ever feel sick.
I've had one student land from their first flight and feel ill, and that person now is teaching paramotors. So he's clearly got over it.
I don't think it's something that really happens in paramotors. You're generally flying in smooth conditions.
Yeah, and that's the key. It's smooth conditions and carrying on. I remember when I was first getting started, I would have kind of like the swimmer's ear kind of thing, where after I'd been flying, I could still feel like I was flying a little bit, but I had not for many years. How many hours do you have, ballpark?
300-ish.
Okay.
Maybe a little less. I don't know. I got 140 hours between March and September of 2019 on a motor, and then swapped it for an Atom. So if we're going by that same estimate, I don't know.
It adds up fast.
Yeah, and down here I must be logging an hour a day at least. At least.
At least.
Oh, have fun, Jeff. He
See you,
says
buddy.
he's launching.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Jim asks, do you have any trike experience?
Yes, I
Dun.
do. Very recently. Yeah, so Mike Brown, one of the instructors, was like, hey, man, you want a trike? And I was like, Mike actually said that. He's a guy to be like, hey, man. And I said yeah, and I admittedly thought it was going to be easier than it is, because everyone told me it was going to be really easy, and it is and it isn't. I don't think any harder than foot launch if you already have foot launch experience, but it is a different set of controls because you're now steering a vehicle, and you have to launch differently. The thing I just struggle with the most on trike right now is I'm used to being very delicate and precise with my controls, whereas on a trike you just are mean and you just punch brakes and steer aggressively. And more power solves all your issues.
Almost
all your issues. Okay, I'll take that back
because I've seen a lot of bad things happen when people have a wingtip on the ground and like full power. We have a guy, he's local. He actually lives in the same area I do, and I call him Tumblebug Bob.
Oh gosh.
Because he would just have a wingtip on the ground, go full power, and then just go tumbling. And I'm like, dude, come on now.
Oh no, no. Like I struggle with holding the A's because I'm weak. And Mike just introduced me to A assist, and I was like, oh, this is way easier. But I had the wing fall back this morning, and AJ yells across the field. He's just like, full throttle.
Did it work?
Nah, I killed it and restarted.
Jason Reamsma says, I've been ground handling lots and am new to the sport. I bought an old wing to practice with, but it seems to have a hard time lifting above my head without my trims out. Is that common for old wings?
Yes.
It is. Trying to learn to kite with an old wing is it's the worst.
Yeah.
Buy a Roadrunner.
No, seriously.
The Roadrunner is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we keep saying buy Roadrunners, and you might be like, oh, this is marketing. But no, guys, the Roadrunner feels like a legit wing, and it handles like a legit wing.
It's completely changed our training program. In the last 2 months that we've had them, it has completely changed how we teach.
I was so impressed with it because I honestly thought it was like a little bit of like we're hyping this up some.
Right.
And I got it, and I was like, oh, this feels like a mini Mojo.
Yep, and except it's easier to launch because it's lighter.
It's
and
easy. It sits there. It does not overshoot, and you can do forwards with it with almost no wind.
Yep.
Which is something that no other kiting wings do, or speed wings. I learned on a speed wing, and it was bad.
I did a lot of speed wing kiting myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, so definitely something normal, Jason, for sure.
Yep. What else we got?
My Roadrunner's excellent for ground kiting. Awesome, Jim. Glad to hear it. Well, any other questions, guys? Hit us up. Tell us what you need to know. Tell us how we can help. I want to get Reese in here to talk a little bit.
Yeah.
Reese.
Any more questions? Mojo Power, Charlie Walsh.
Doing the rotation.
That framing is too tight.
I know. We'll make it better. All right, so for you, Mr. Reese, private pilot, seaplane rating, skydiver, 100 jumps. You've done a lot of things in a lot of ways. Talk to me about flying paramotors.
Okay, flying paramotors. It was never on my radar. I don't know. I saw the Paradigm team, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever because you get the best visuals flying paramotors. It's as a filmmaker, the magic hour is 30 minutes before and after sunset, and so you're just got the glow in the sky, and you got 4 or 5 guys in canopies, really, and they're just in formation. I thought it was the coolest show ever, but it just didn't register as something that I could do. And the experience, like I would say, I wasn't ready for it. You called me, I was ill-prepared and more than...
I gave you 3 whole days' notice.
More than one ways. And as me, I'm a little... I guess not. I like to be. You think you're superhuman, you know. When you can. I got pilot license. I've got scuba license. You know, they're flying a parachute. Yeah, I got 100 skydives. Not to say that. I thought it would be just, a thing in the bag. You know, just I'll have it, no problem. I wasn't ready. It's mentally you have to be prepared, and. To be honest, I wasn't. But the instructors and how they teach really is what it set me into the mindset of, hey, you can't do filmmaking and try to learn this.
You got to stay focused.
They said it was an impossible task, and I'm like, okay, that's a challenge. But we see the results of that challenge here behind us. Unfortunately, the Inspire took a hit. And I crashed many a drones, but I don't think I had one get hit by a Subaru. not even in the air. So I'll preach it till the cows come home, and it was therapy for me. I'm just so ADHD, scatterbrained, and to go out there early morning, have these instructors, breathing exercises, warm-ups, the team, watching the team grow was so inspiring. My wife was in class with me, and she has no aviation experience, and she was the taxi queen. She would run for a whole football field before she got off the ground.
Oh man, she did so well though.
Oh, I was filming, and sun was in my eyes a little bit, tearing up. So to see her succeed in that and to push forward was inspiring.
That's awesome.
And I can't get over the instructors you have, the caliber of people that are teaching young pilots.
We're super, super blessed, man. And the cool thing, too, and I love this, is a great example because in your class we had you and your wife are young, fit. We've got Diego, who's a ex-pro soccer player.
Legs like Diego.
Legs like Diego. You know, and you got guys like Brian and Shannon who are in their 50s. They work at Bush's Beans. You know, they're just genuine, heart-of-the-earth East Tennesseans.
Love them.
And, like, watching Shannon land from his first tow, you know, he's crying. He's like, I can't believe I did it. You know, and it's like, it's a different challenge for each of us. But that's what makes it so special. It's like, you know, Diego has the physical ability locked down, and Shannon had to work harder for it.
Yeah.
But there's so much value that comes from that, you know, because going home, there's no question that, you know, Brian and Shannon are going to be like, okay, wow, I did something different. And you guys had better come back and fly with us.
Yes.
Like, for real.
I mean, when Shannon landed on his first flight, Diego was there, like, wanting to help, like, you know, because he was coming up from the ground and we were cheering him on, Shannon, Shannon, Shannon. And then, you know, his hands were shaking, putting on his glasses, and everybody was so emotional. And Diego's like, who's crying? If you're not crying, let me know. They're going to cry.
That's amazing.
We had so much fun, and the camaraderie was so overwhelming because we were going through ups and downs. We were at our highest highs with the first flights, and, you know, you take a couple of aborts and you get down into a funk. But, you know, my wife was on Diego's team, and she couldn't have had a better partner.
Right.
I mean, his team's, like, sports mentality, you know, they were just so patriotic and great team. You know, I love it. Really, it's what she needed to push through. She was the last person to solo, and I was nervous.
Been there.
A couple failed launches. The winds, obviously, you want to get them students in a low wind condition, so there's not a lot of factors, and her little body, you know, couldn't produce a lot of energy to get that wing up, and you know, Diego's right there cheering her on. It was great.
It's the ultimate, man. That's like, we were watching the video last night talking about, you know, just the camaraderie at both schools, you know, because you had both schools in the video. And I was like, I can't even imagine teaching one-on-one anymore, because I used to do that, you know. And we've had people contact us. My most notable one, we had a guy contact us a couple years ago, and he offered $25,000 if you could skip the wait list and you get trained one-on-one. And we told him no. Wow. And it was a terrible business decision.
Sounds like it.
But the reality is, if you don't go through the whole class with your class, like, you give up so much. You know, we had a guy 2 classes ago, Joe, who got 4 flights, decided it wasn't for him, and then he'd had some family challenges, and then he came back, and he got like 20 flights, and he left with all his equipment and a whole different look on his face. And I'm like, dude, like, you're part of something now. Like, that's just so freaking cool. I don't know. I'm a huge fan.
I'm really stoked on where this journey is going to lead me. I'm the most probably ignorant person to paramotoring here of the Aviator team, and I was tasked to document the first class. And being an outsider looking in, I didn't really catch that camaraderie, because I would go out to the field, I would film, I'd come back in, and I would cut together a little edit. And you know, I was helping them because they could see themselves either fall or succeed. And, you know, it just wasn't there for me. But after spending 2 weeks with the class, with Lake Wales, the Denellen team, it's I can't wait for you guys to see this film.
It's really good, guys.
It's truly, you can't fake this, is what I was talking to Nicole. Like, I was like, give me your personal experience with this class. And, you know, the instructors, they breathe this. It's so genuine. They care about every human that comes through this, and it's really gonna shine in this video. So I really am excited to get back to the edit bay and just get this thing out sooner than later.
That's awesome.
We got a lot of great plans. I know you want to do some real exciting flying and camping films.
Yeah, you're going to be it looks like joining us for a pretty crazy 3.5-month long adventure, going from here to Pennsylvania to Oregon to Nevada to Colorado, Texas, just flying everywhere we can. You know, the Kit Fox didn't get finished due to COVID, but we're still going to go and do a whole bunch of butt fan fun.
Nice.
So I'm excited. I really am. So John Ski's asked, can you post a link to that film? It'll be on this channel in a few days, maybe a week. So
Yeah.
looking forward to it. It's not finished yet. I just watched the first 18 minutes and was like, holy crap.
The first 18. So someone asked about a pre-roll. Did you guys have a pre-roll?
We used to do a pre-show. But sadly, both of the members of the team that did the pre-show aren't with us anymore, so we don't have a pre-show.
I was wondering, I could do some teaser type edits.
We could. That'd be sick.
Yeah, roll a teaser type edit.
Yeah, I'm down. All right, this is literally his first live stream that he's been here for, so I'm like trying to show him how everything gets set up, and he's like, okay, and like if you guys can see, there's crazy amounts of stuff everywhere.
Gack everywhere.
Gack gear everywhere. But all right, let's see. Any other questions, guys? Do we have any questions from the team? Otherwise, it's going to be a really short podcast because I want to go fly. I know Reese does.
Yeah, my wife is actually on her way.
She's going to fly tonight?
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. My wife's coming too, so we're going to have them duking out wives. It'd be great.
Oh, that was a fun part of my class. Every time we took off, somehow we ended up in the air together.
Really?
So not only was it like our first flights, we were always, not always, but I'd say, 30% of the time we're in the air. We're just kicking our feet at each other. Oh, it was so awesome.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Nick Bevinchuk, if I already paraglide, would I still need a lot of training to fly with a motor? Would I be able to pick it up myself? No problem. Nick, if you're a P3 and above, we do a transition course. I've done a lot of them. I've had P4 pilots who picked it up day one. We were able to train in the elements that are different. I'm a paraglider pilot as well, and it is radically different, and there's a lot of things you need to know. If you are, not P3 and above, I'd rather you go through a full course. Just a P2 as an intermediate pilot, I'd rather see you go through the whole course just because it's going to make you a better pilot for both sides. I started off as a paramotor pilot, and then I transitioned to free flight and very quickly got my ratings and everything, and was I've only got my P3. I need to get my P4. I didn't have my you have to have your P3 for so long, I think, or whatever, and they're like, well, we'll give you your P4 in 6 months. And I was like, okay. But I haven't been back to a licensed site to fly. I've been flying in Costa Rica and other places where they don't care about ratings.
Nice.
So, have you flown since class, Brian asked?
No, I have not. This would be my first time since our class, Brian.
Awesome, man. Brian Waller, good to see you, brother. Crazy Uncle Bob, when will you do a show from the air? It's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. So the key is having a high enough upload rate. And to do that, you can buy a backpack that carries 4 cell phone Wi-Fi things.
Nice.
And they're linked together, so you can actually bolster the overall speed. The downside is it's like $1,200.
That's it.
And I find it very challenging to justify. So will I do it someday? Probably, but I have to find a way to justify the cost.
Yeah.
Because I want to do it like with the Paramotor. I want to do it with the Kit Fox. I think it'd just be really, really cool to do a live stream where we're flying down these canyons and answering questions. I just think it'd be really cool. So
I'm interested.
Yeah, you're down. We're gonna make Reese a live stream expert because he's not yet, and he will be soon. So awesome, guys. Let's see any other good stuff from you guys. I don't think there are going to be any more questions tonight. To everybody who's come in and checked in, thank you so much. Just so you guys know, we're going to be doing these shows every other Tuesday. We've been doing them every Tuesday when we could. We're shifting them to every other Tuesday simply because we do a call with our alumni, which actually we ends up oftentimes having more people watching, more people joining in than these. And we had been doing those calls every Monday. We're going to shift them to every other Tuesday as well, just so that our family has a little bit better lifestyle, because when you do a 9 p.m. live stream that goes till 11, you don't get home till 1. It's
the family gets a little
tense.
So I would say if anyone has any great type of videos, ideas, to leave them in the comments where we could check them out and possibly, we were talking about bringing the family to do some tandems and flying and camping and flying back out. That would be awesome. So
any video ideas, guys, and you can email info@aviatorppg.com as well. We'd love to see video ideas, things. I mean, Reese has a whole different span. Like Dan was great, all these guys that we've worked with have been amazing filmmakers, but they all have different visions, and so we'd love to see your vision and Reese's combined. So feel free to share with us, and also feel free to let us know if you have places that you'd like us to come for training. So we're training in Virginia and Pennsylvania next month, or I guess in a month and a few days. But we'd like to see more locations. So we've got a whole bunch of people in Arizona, a whole bunch of people in California, a whole bunch of people in Kansas and Oklahoma, of all places, who've asked us to do this. So let us know where you want to go. And yeah, F. Hayes asks, used Roadrunner available? Yes. Email Kristen at aviatorppg.com, CHRISTAN, or just service at Aviator. We have some of our school Roadrunners that we'd be happy to sell used. Let's see. Vertical lines. Any aircraft avoidance devices for paramotors? Right now, no. Not that are affordable, but there are ADS-B in devices that are very affordable. I'd look at the Merlin. I think it's around $150 or $200, and you can track where the ADS-B is from other aircraft.
You can even use like Flight Radar, like a little app on your phone. It's free.
The Flight Radar tracks ADS-B?
I think.
Judson says you can use Flight Radar on your phone. I haven't tried it. I don't know.
We use it sometimes.
The biggest thing is a good strobe, honestly. Craig Taylor just sent me a video of his North Star in broad daylight, and it's bright as heck. So,
Like Johnson.
yeah, well, Johnson's strobes, good. Johnson has a Scout, and he has these strobes in it that if you put a piece of paper over them,
It catches
after one or
fire.
two flashes, it catches fire.
Yikes.
So great.
It's ridiculous. It hurts your soul.
Oh my gosh. Probably sucks through some battery.
Yeah.
Success on it.
Vertical asks, when we visit Pennsylvania if we're not registered, if you're part of the Aviator family, you're always welcome at all of our classes, brother. Always, always. We'd love to see you. Absolutely. Mike, I'd love to come to Rochester. I don't want to run a school in New York. New York and California are two really, really difficult states to do business in. Like, extremely. So, all right, guys. Thank you all so much for coming on the show. To Reese and Judson, much love, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Judson's just like sliding in. Guys, we'll look forward to seeing you all in 2 weeks on the show once again. A show that we may be hosting from a different state. We're not sure yet when we're leaving. So with that said, have a wonderful night. And thank you all for coming on. Hope that you get your flights in. And if you haven't learned to fly yet, come and learn to fly with us. Get those video ideas in, and we'll look forward to sharing more with you very, very soon. 2 more questions just came in from Jason. Do you recommend a variometer or cell phone apps? Variometers work better, but the new iPhones and such have a barometric pressure gauge in them, so they work really well now. Jeff Cronenwitz says, do you have any Roadrunners? Yes, we do have Roadrunners in stock, or not in stock, but coming in stock. Most of them are sold. Matt Wachowski, when is the Pennsylvania class? Now all the questions come. It's like lightning round.
Don't leave. We got
Matt, good to see you, buddy. August 22nd, and we should be in the area the week prior. So, good stuff. I'm stoked. All right, I'm
time
leaving.
to fly.
Let's go fly.
Let's get it.
Guys, have a
Looks good.
wonderful night. We'll see you all soon. Take care.